What's up, audio nerds? Today we have the neat Widget B USB microphone in the studio. I'm going to run you through the basics of this microphone, we'll go through the specs, I'll test it out, and then of course I'll give you my review at the very end. This is a pretty interesting looking microphone, but I'm excited to try it out, try something a little different today. Well, let's go ahead and get started. What's up, audio nerds? Welcome to the Audio Hotline. As I said before, we have the neat Widget B in the studio. It has two other brothers or sisters, whatever one, siblings. There we go. Neat has a Widget A, a B, and a C. And each of them are a little bit different, I believe, but at the very least, they look different. I'm not sure how different they actually are on the inside. But I've actually had this microphone sitting in my closet for quite a while. Not too excited to try it out. I do like some USB microphones, but this one in particular, I was like, I want to get it because it looks cool, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't really want to try it out because I have a suspicion that it's not going to be great. I feel like a lot of USB microphones, and a lot of microphones in general that like look really cool or look really different, don't always sound good. But that's not always true. Actually, my buddy over at Obscure Mics, Jeremy, just tried out a neat microphone that was like the B, like the Bumblebee. I don't remember which one it is, but it actually sounded surprisingly good. And that made me excited to finally pull this out of the closet and give it a shot. So here we are with the Widget B. You can find this microphone on Amazon and most other places for $50. Now, for a USB microphone, I mean, that's pretty inexpensive. There are some other USB microphones that I do like close to this price category, so we'll see if the Widget B is up to par with those microphones. Today, I'm using my MacBook Pro with Logic Pro X to record this microphone. The gain is currently set at about 25%. I'm a pretty loud talker, so I feel like a lot of other people would probably have to have a little bit more gain, but I have to bring it down so I don't clip. I just get so excited about mics! This is my favorite Red Bull of all time. I love it so much. It's the coconut one. I drink too many Red Bulls. Probably why I talk so loud. I'm just so excited! Red Bull! Our sponsor today is Red Bull. I wish. I really wish. But let's start this thing off by talking about what comes in the box with the neat Widget B. When you purchase the Widget B, it will come in a nice white box. The packaging is just so sleek, just looks fantastic. In the package, you will find some documentation. You will find a whole sheet of stickers, which I think is pretty awesome. And then, of course, you will find the neat Widget B microphone. And attached to that microphone is, in fact, the USB cable. The Widget B doesn't really seem like it has a whole lot of accessories that come with it, but this microphone also does have a very nice stand attached to it. And you actually can change where the position of the microphone is on this stand with this little screw on the back. I do wish that you could somehow mic either just this section on a mic stand or the whole thing without having to like completely rig it up. A lot of the time I don't want my microphone on the desk. When it comes to the build quality of the Widget B, honestly, it's just all plastic except for the grill. The grill does feel pretty good, and it does have like kind of this extra bar protecting it, which is actually a fun little fact that a bar right in the middle of a capsule can actually help with plosives. It's kind of like the pencil trick if you've ever heard of that. Even though this microphone does look kind of weird and different, I do still think it looks cool. I could definitely see why some people would like this look though. And one quick thing about the cable is that it's actually a USB 1.1 to 2, so it does not support USB 3. And that's one issue I was having with my MacBook, is that I had to find an adapter that was a 2.0 instead of a 3.0, because a lot of the adapters that you get nowadays for Macs or for like newer HPs with USB-Cs are usually USB 3.0. So I eventually found a USB 2.0 adapter to USB-C, and it worked out, but just fair warning on that. Well, now that we've gone through some of the basics of this microphone, let's go ahead and jump right into the specs. The neat Widget B is a USB condenser microphone with a cardioid polar pattern. It has a frequency response of 20 Hz to 20 kHz. It has an output of a USB 1.1 to USB 2. It has a sample rate and bit depth of up to 96 kilohertz and 24-bit. The system requirements of this is a Mac OS of 10.6 or higher, or Windows 7 or higher. There weren't a whole lot of specs provided on this microphone, so that section went a little quicker than usual, but hey, what can you do? Now let's go ahead and test this microphone out. If you want to get really close to the Neat Widget B, here is how it sounds. Peter Piper picked a patch of pickled peanuts. Peter Piper picked a patch of pickled peanuts. When you talk into the front of the Widget B, here's how it sounds. When you talk into the side of the Widget B, here's how it sounds. And when you talk into the back of the Widget B, here's how it sounds. I have this on a little stand right now, so I'm going to put it on the actual desk for the background noise rejection test with the keyboard, so you can hear how it rejects the shake from the keyboard of me typing on it, and also how it rejects the background noise. I'm going to get a little low here. Okay, that's as high as I can go. If you're typing on your keyboard on the desk where the Widget B is on, here's how it sounds, and here's how the background noise rejection is. And without the keyboard on the desk, here's how the background noise rejection is. And if you want to use this microphone for podcasting or anything where you want some post-processing on it, then here's how it could sound with EQ, compression, and de-essing, and usually a little bit of noise remover just for when the noise floor gets brought up by that compression. And as you can tell right now, I am a lot closer to the mic just because the bass response is so weak if you're even just a foot from it. If I add EQ, no, scratch that. When I add EQ, I will put the graph up on the screen so you can see what I did. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and do a quick acoustic guitar test. Now that we've gone through the basics, the specs, and we've tested this microphone out, I'm going to go ahead and get to my review of the Neat Widget B USB microphone. Right out of the gate, I will say I wish that this had an output of a USB 3.0. I think that would make life a lot easier for a lot of people who have newer computers that have adapters that are USB 3.0. Another thing I wish was different about this microphone is that it just had more bass response in general without me having to get really close. See, a lot of people are like, well, just get closer, that's not a problem. But here's the thing though, you're going to have this potentially on your desk while you're recording, because you can't mount it on a mic stand, can you? If you're going to be sitting there typing or gaming or doing anything else but talking into the microphone, it's going to be really difficult to stay really close to get a good bass response while also doing something else. So unless you're going to be really close to the mic, just like, hey, today we're going to talk about the San Francisco 69ers, and you never plan on getting further away than this, you may be okay when it comes to bass response, or you're just going to have to boost the hell out of it in post. But to me, this just sounds thin, and it sounds even a little bit boxy, and it just has no bass on it. I will say that I have heard some USB microphones with a louder noise floor, but this one still isn't great, especially if you get it past like 50% or 75%, it's like truly atrocious. So where I'm at right now is about the only tolerable noise floor level, which is 25%. I mean, the plosives weren't great on it, and it's going to be really hard to get a pop filter in front of this thing since you don't have a mic stand, and it's going to be impossible to get a windscreen on it, because look at it. So overall, I just feel like this microphone doesn't sound good. It has flaws when it comes to the build of it, and I just feel like it wasn't really well thought out. I feel like they were really relying on the look of this microphone to get sales, and I'm sure they've done okay just based off of that. But truthfully, if you're going to be starting a video game YouTube channel, just trust me when I say, stay away from this microphone. You're gonna be disappointed. Overall, I feel like the sound on this microphone is truly pretty poor. And it really bums me out because I feel like all the USB microphones that look really cool kind of sound like shit. So needless to say, I'm not a fan of this. And when it comes to a microphone, if I don't like the sound of it, what's the point of even having it? So therefore, all the other cons that I have toward this microphone honestly don't matter in the long run because it's not even worth buying because it doesn't sound good. And the grade that I give the Neat Widget B is an F. Yes. And some of you know what that means. It's time to destroy this piece of shit. Now, I don't know if your friends over at Neat told you what happens on the audio hotline when a microphone sucks as hard as you do, but they get broke. Like broken. Like, I'm gonna break it. Like, that's what we do on here. Okay, I'll take the duct tape off, but you gotta promise you won't scream. Oh, stuck to my glove. Shit. Oh, damn it. Usually with microphones, I give them a quick, swift little death. Honorable, you know? But for about the last 45 minutes, you've been torturing my ears. And you're probably thinking like, hey, your video's only like 10 minutes long. I mess up a lot, so it's been 45 minutes. So since you've been torturing my ears, I figured I'd torture you a little bit, let you know how it feels.
Came through dripping Aquafina, I'm sipping 15, kept a weapon on me. Blow make digits, I'm on my business, stack chicken like what it's gon' be. Crew in the cut, hey, you want us red rum.
Wow, I'm like actually waterboarding a microphone.
Blow make digits, I'm on my business, stack chicken like what it's gon' be. Crew in the cut, hey, you want us red rum when I tell a bit peace. Love is love. Love is.
Oh man, waterboarding is hard work. I had to go get a quick cup of coffee. Hey, don't judge me for putting whipped cream on it. Totally okay, totally manly. Oh, that's good. That's real good. Do you want some? No? Okay, fine. Suit yourself. This coffee's probably too hot for you anyway. Oh no! Oh
Make
no!
digits, I'm on my business, stack chicken like what it's gon' be. Crew in the cut, hey, you want us red rum when I tell a bit.
Alright, I think it's time just to finish this.
I've been playing with the minutes that they been shoulda gave, and I'm flipping every digit that they been shoulda paid. Had to find a way to get it, no, this isn't what you made. If I ever wanna dip, then I'm brink with the blade, and I'm brinking a blink on the brink of some dumb shit. Watch how I move, cause I know the brink's coming.
Watch how I move, cause I know the brink's coming.